We'll be continuing some of the themes from the original Learn Live session. So looking at how the courts resolve factual causation disputes, looking at another case in the line of authorities grappling with material contribution in clinical negligence, and also looking at the links in a chain of causation case with a bill of Belivo in causation thrown in. So the first case is a useful one to illustrate the approach that the courts will take in resolving factual disputes, rather than looking at expert evidence, looking at lay witness evidence to determine either the standard of care or causation. And Toombs and Mitchell is a case where both breach of duty and causation was disputed. Of course, today we're concentrating on causation, of course, but the factual disputes in the case also went to breach of duty, so we will be looking in part at that. The second issue I want to have a look at is chains of causation. And in the original Learn Live session, I spent quite some time looking at chains of causation and some evidential principles going to establishing chains of causation. And there's been a case highlighting many of these principles heard in January of this year in the High Court called Doucho, which we'll get on to shortly. And chains are particularly relevant in a delay in diagnosis type case where a claimant will need to prove, for example, had I been treated properly, what tests would have been carried out, when would they have been carried out, how long would it have taken for the test results to come back, when would the diagnosis have been made following return of the test results, what treatment would then have been offered, would the claimant have accepted the recommendation, would they have gone with some other treatment, what would the waiting list like, etc., etc., and indeed, how would the ultimate decision have affected the injury, depending on what point of time the treatment was commenced. All these factual, hypothetical questions, and a lot of work for the claimant to do, a lot of things for the claimant to prove.